Good morning. Welcome back to Morning Brews. On today's show, Daniel Levy gives himself a pay rise, Tottenham Hotspur looking for investors, and Tottenham Hotspur Financial reports. Tune in here. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Tottenham on Tour, your world-famous morning news show with myself, the Kauff, and the Roadman. How are you doing this morning, David?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've literally not long woke up, so I sound all rough and stuff, but I'm not. I'm fine. I'm just tired.
You sound grizzly. You're like a bear.
Oh, I am, mate. I am, honestly. I had a really late night. I rebuilt my PC and I was having to update everything and change from Windows 10 to Windows 11. And yeah, I didn't stop till what? I think it was like after 2 a.m. So
Jesus Christ, David.
yeah, I know.
Not a good idea. But let's see who's in the chat this morning to take us through the show. We got Mr. Sweden himself, Tony Rodriguez, YouTube member. Good to see you, Tony. Hopefully you're well. We got Shawnee Slater from the Guardians of the Pombo saying, YouTube member saying, good morning, Bennett. David, is it chat? And of course, the Guardians of the Pombo. Hope everyone had their £3 million pay rise this morning. Yep, absolutely. We got a Tabacron Wembley one. Good to see you, buddy. Shem Tang, good to see you. Bordada, good to see you. MZ, good to see you, MZ. We got Benjamin Foster, good to see you. We've got the Sheriff's in the house. Good morning, Sheriff. Hopefully you're well. We got Flower Power. Good to see you, Flower Power. We got Rich. Good to see you, Rich. Hopefully you're well. Mr. Andrew Gregory, YouTube member as well. Rich, YouTube member. Mark, YouTube member. Fran's in the house. Good to see you, YouTube member. We got Phil P. Woo! Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. And we got Kate Rixon's in the house. Let's start the show then, David. Daniel Levy has given himself a £3 million bonus, which is exactly the money he's going to make from getting rid of the concessions on the senior citizens thing.
It's both of us.
When it rains, it pours, David. When it rains, it pours.
Oh, tell me about it. You couldn't write it, could you? It's this man. He is just such a nightmare, right? To do that with the concessions, yeah, right? After the game where all the fans turned their back. Don't know what that was meant to do, but okay, if they want to do that, fair play to them.
Nah.
And then the next day to put out, right, the financials that show this, that the concessions and all that are going to pay for his pay rise. I mean, doesn't care, mate. I mean, fans need to get to it now. This is proof now. He does not care. If you thought he did care previously, he really doesn't.
He's so tone deaf, isn't he?
Oh, he doesn't
so tone deaf. He's seen that protest, and he's immediately said, it's Nelson from The Simpsons. It's Nelson from The Simpsons. It's hysterical, isn't it? It's absolutely hysterical. If you don't laugh at it, you'll cry. And that's what you've got to do. Because
that's exactly it. If you allow it to affect you too much, then it's just not for you. He's been doing similar for 20 odd years. It's just now he's making more money.
Yeah.
What was that, Johnson?
James Flowers trying to wind you up. He's trying to.
No, he's not. James has been a really good lad over by Brennan Johnson, and yeah, he did fantastic. But anyway, we're talking about Daniel Levy and how he's making loads of money while fans are getting screwed. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. £3 million. Nice if you can get it.
Anyone would, right? We will criticize and we will say horrible things about him, right? Because of what he's done and how we are, as football fans, are watching us not do anything on the pitch. not win games. I mean, he's gave himself a pay rise, yet the players, we should be in a better position, especially when you pay the highest prices. And we've just breached 500 million in profit.
No, revenue, not profit.
Revenue, sorry, revenue. Yeah. Right? That is stupid for a self-sufficient club. This is not a club with money that's given through its owners or, through illegal means, as we should say. That's incredible. That's incredible. You've got to say that. It's incredible what he's done. But he is the personification of the ivory tower. He's up there in his ivory tower and he's tone deaf to everything going on around him. He doesn't need to do what he's doing towards, especially the old age pensioners. Like the rest, the actual rise in the ticket prices, well, it was fair. He hasn't done it for a couple of, I think it was a year now, I think.
4 years. It was 4 years he did it for. But he raised the ticket prices by exactly the same amount he would have done if he increased it by 1.5 a year. So basically, he gave everyone a 4-year pay rise in 1 year.
Yeah, but most other clubs didn't do that. Most other clubs just, you know what I mean? They upped the prices as and when they needed to. We want to moan everything, but any of us, I don't care who you are, you could be the nicest person in the world. I'm sorry. If you were sitting in his position, you could do the exact same. You would. At the end of the day, life's about making money, and he's doing it to a T. And fans are still going to go. All them fans who turned their back that day are probably the old age pensioners who are moaning about the concession. You're still paying your tickets, so you're doing what he wants. And I that's fair enough. That's fine. You're allowed to. But you're still doing it. You're still buying that ticket. So he's going to sit there and still make that money. So he's going to be like, well, if the tickets are being sold, I don't need to change the concession.
It's what's it called? It's using the season ticket waiting list, which is a red herring. The season ticket list is a red herring because to get a membership at Tottenham, you have to go on the waiting list. So it's actually using free memberships because you can get a membership for free. You can get an e-ticketing number for free, not a One Hotspur membership. You can get an e-ticketing number to get tickets for the game for free. But putting that thing puts your name in the hat, which actually increases the supply and demand, as it were. So he can say, well, if you don't go, there's 200,000 people that will go. So it's a weird one, but it's just tone deaf, isn't it? It's tone deaf after a really bad performance against West Ham and against after the protest at the weekend for him to do that. It's to take it off of that and put it back onto him because he's got to be the center of attention. I think he loves being the center of attention for a man that doesn't like being seen in public. It's really weird, isn't it?
It's like an ego thing. I think when he sees managers and players and everything else get spoke about, he's sitting there going, well, what about me?
Yeah.
Why is no one talking about me? So I'll do something just so my name gets spoken about somewhere. It feels like that, doesn't it? It really does. When you look at it in that sense, it feels like that's what he does. He's sitting there going, oh, no one's talking about me. You know what? I'll screw over the old age pensioners. Everyone will say my name then. They'll scream. They'll say my name in the stadium.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about Levy out. He's not leaving. No matter what you do, he ain't leaving. How many how many owners of a club do you see leave, in the top tier through protests? I think we've only seen one, and that was Mike Ashley, and the only reason is he got bored.
Yeah.
He never left because of the protest.
He wasn't making the money for... He tried to do what Enoch have done, but with Newcastle, but it was never gonna do that with Newcastle because, frankly, as much as I like Newcastle's a really cool place. Newcastle isn't London. London's a beast. Now, there is a reason people say that London is not England. London is its own. London might as well be its own country, for God's sake. It's completely different from the rest of the UK. It's its own monster, and it generates money. When people across the world say they're coming to the UK, they mean they're going to London.
Yeah.
That's what they mean.
Yeah. Majority think that London is the UK. So
yeah,
screw everyone else. Screw us Welsh.
yeah. That's what Levy's saying. Screw the Red Dragon.
But like I said, at the end of the day, anyone in that position, I don't care how nice you are, you're going to do that because money makes you evil, right? I'm not saying Levy's evil, by the way. I'm just putting it into context of money changes people, and the more money you get, the more money you want. You want to get fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter. Simple as, because that's what life's about, is money. So he's going to do this. He doesn't care. Now he's got his system in place. Scottman, Ange, all them. He's got this little system now where he can be away from the football and he doesn't have to say anything to any of us. He doesn't have to speak to the fans. He doesn't care. Well, you'll see him start not going to the stadium soon.
People in the firing line.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He's having his little walls in front of himself to where now he doesn't even have to go to the stadium.
Yeah.
If he chooses not to, basically, he'll just do what Joe Lewis did, never come. They start singing his name, he'll just leave. And they'll be like, right, I'm not going then. Let's built a system.
Let's move on to the Tottenham Hotspur financial reports. What was your view on them? Did you look at them? Because it's an interesting read. It's like the Machine Mark catalogue. It's an interesting read, but it makes no sense.
Yeah. I had a little glance over.
It said 110 million profit something, but then it said 85 million losses. It's just like, what is it, Levy? Is it a profit or is it a loss? Can't you just do what I do on an Excel spreadsheet? When you've lost something, you put a big red marker to say, I've lost there. I've done green thing there. I've done green there. I've done green. It makes no sense, doesn't it?
No. I think what that is the overall losses of, I don't know, some sort of base revenue, but we're seeing profit over overall revenue or something like that. I'm not 100%. Maybe someone in the comments can tell us. I haven't got a clue. I'm not clued up on money. I'm poor. I'm not good with money. So, but at the end of the day, I looked at the financials the best I could. The numbers to me doesn't bother me. All I know is 500 million we've made now for the first time. We've reached that 500 million mark, and we're not going to see it in the summer. So, yeah.
Joining at the fossil in 2,500. So it's. I don't understand why they make such it's one of the reasons why I say that Tottenham Hotspur fans are the only fans that care about spreadsheets. The club steers into it. It was like when you go to the cinema and they play Pearl and Dean. I think that's the thing. And they play the music, but it's like that, but with the financial reports. They play them. They play Pearl and Dean music, and before they release the financial report, they absolutely love them, don't they? It's like they have made it. They've made Tottenham Hotspur fans into Excel fans.
Yeah,
it's almost. I don't know how to explain it. It's business FC rather than football club.
Yeah. Well, I've seen it loads on Twitter where people say it's certain fans like that, the spreadsheet fans FC, that they only care about what the financials are, what the club's doing, things like that. The only thing fans should really care about is what happens in windows and on the pitch.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we care about. We shouldn't care about, say, if Levy made a profit, but we won the FA Cup, or we had a really good run in the Champions League, or we are fighting for the Prem, like up there, I'm talking about there. Who would care about numbers? We wouldn't. No one would. But because we're in the position we are, people use it as a reason to be angry and frustrated within the club.
Yeah.
No, we don't. People want to use it just because they're angry and they're frustrated with what's going on on the pitch or behind the scenes. But if we're winning things, no one would care. No one would care about pay
rises. No one would care.
No one would. So that's the situation we're in. That's where Levy's put us, where we want success. That's all what the fans want.
But it's also because of the rival fans taking the mickey out of us. That's fueling the fire, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're fueling the fire. So constantly Tottenham fans are under fire, and they can see everyone's turning to the club. So come on, guys, help me out here. I'm getting bantered by everyone at work, and then they banter us.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. That's it. That's the thing. We need to start focusing on.
I like that, David. I care about Windows and not Excel.
Yeah. That's it. It's the truth, though.
Well, because of Windows being Microsoft.
I know, yeah. Sorry. I apologize, Andrew. That's class, mate. I've just woke up. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that.
Yeah.
But it's the truth, though. At the end of the day, if we were close to winning things, or if we were like getting in finals and being in competitions and stuff like that, no one would bat an eyelid.
Yeah.
In that Champions League run, right, when we got to the final under Poch, I've not seen anyone mention financials. No one mentioned Levy having his pay rise then. No one cared. No one cared because we were doing stuff. But now it's something people cared about because we're not doing stuff, and he's took away concessions, things like that.
It's because they're bigging up the financials so much.
Yeah.
They're bigging them up, and everyone's like, aren't we a football club?
Yeah. His statement as well, I can't remember what he said in it, but like leaving a statement at the end of it, and he didn't even end it with Coy's Daniel. I was so disappointed. He just ended it Daniel. Yeah, he just put Daniel. I was like, really? Not Coy's Daniel?
Yeah.
Nah, ruined it for me, that did. Like, that's where I got well annoyed.
Oh, it's going back to that. If you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you let it affect you, you're just gonna be bored over it. You're just gonna get frustrated. I get why certain fans are annoyed with it because of the concessions and raising ticket prices. The raising ticket price was always going to happen. We knew that after last year because he said in his last statement that the ticket prices were going to be frozen this year, but this year only. So it wasn't like a surprise. It's not like he just put it on to people. Yeah. The concession was. That was a surprise to people. But he's got a system now where he's built this stadium that if the old AP pensioners don't pay and don't go, then tickets are lapped up by a younger lot.
If they can afford it.
Yeah. But majority of them do. We spoke about this a couple of videos back where we said, like, a lot of it now, a lot of the fans are the abroad fans who want to go watch a football match. They've got that money. They want to fly over. That's why he wants to build the hotel.
They put money to the side to save for this for a long time. And they go to one game rather than 38 games.
Exactly, yeah. And which is fair play to them. Nothing against them, of course. Anyone that, you know what I mean, we want to go and watch the club if you support them. But they will always have someone else to take that ticket up. They will always have someone else to buy that ticket. So that's what he knows now. We're an entertainment venue.
Yeah.
Look at it. The F1 track, the Beyoncé's, the gigs, the NFL. That's what he's got now. So if you don't buy, like we could all sit and go, just don't buy a ticket, don't go, don't. They'll be lapped up anyway. The stadium, I mean, against West Ham, what do we have? 62? I think it was.
Yeah.
Between 62 65,000 there.
You mean Luton, not West Ham?
Luton, sorry, yeah. My apologies, Luton. I think it was about, what, 62,000 there?
Yeah. It's going to be an empty stadium this weekend, though, David. It's going to be a totally empty stadium because of the train strikes. It's going to be absolutely. It's going to be totally empty. So he'll find out what happens when you have when you have no one going. Because like I live in London, and it's going to be very different. It's going to be so difficult for me to get there. It's going to take me It's going to take me 2 hours to get there, and I only live like 25 minutes by car away.
Really?
There aren't any trains. There's no central line. So the majority of people that go and watch Tottenham are from my area, but they won't be able to. You won't see them. So forget it, mate. 6 o'clock on a Sunday night.
Wow, that's not good, that is.
But Nick is saying it won't be empty. It's not gonna be full though, is it? It's not gonna be full. Entertainment profit rising year on year. That's where the money will be. Absolutely, I agree with you. Let's talk about the final part of the show, which is an interesting one. They announced yesterday that Daniel Levy is actually looking for investors into the football club to up to 20% stake of the business. What's your view on that, David? And was this always going to happen of making it an entertainment conglomerate? Because I can only see an American family buying into Tottenham because of the culture of the club, because of the way things run, because of the history of the club, the politics of the club. An entertainment company is going to buy into Tottenham, I think.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen him meet up with a load of people as of late, and this was always the goal with Levy, is build the stadium up to the point where he can bring in these type of investors who are they're not going to spend a couple of million on like a little small stake. They're going to spend a large amount of money. Big stake. 20% of what? That'd be at least, you're talking hundreds of million there, aren't you?
Yeah.
In theory. So it's great for him, because then he can use that money for other things, the hotels, the stuff like that. It was always inevitable going to happen. I don't think it's just going to be one investor as well. I think he's going to slowly sell little parts of the club off. And I think it'll be mostly coming from obviously Enix's side, that business. And I mean, how much did Enix, what did he do? What did the company do last time? I think it was like 12% or something.
Something like that, yeah.
When he put that 150 million in. So if you think 20% of an outside investor, that's going to be a large amount of money.
Yeah. Nick is saying 600 million pounds.
Yeah, well, there you go then. Exactly. That's a large amount of money. And you'd think everyone's sitting there going, oh, Levy's selling up. That's it. No, he's really not. Levy's doing what he's doing. He's going to get someone else's money to pay for the ventures of the club.
Yeah. 2,000 tickets available on the exchange at the moment. I think that will increase by the time of the weekend. I think that will increase. What's happened to Joe Lewis's shares? They are currently in his what's it called?
Children's name.
They're not in his children's name, but it's in the Joe Lewis. It's in like the family's business that's running his assets, whatever you call that. But we're going to talk about potential investors into the football club. But I think it's only going to come from one country. I think it's going to come from I'm going to give you two regions. It's either going to be from the United States of America, or it's going to be from the Asia area, like Singapore and like Korea and Japan. That sort of area, the more developed countries of Asia. But that is going to be a very small. There's only a small amount of billionaires in that part of the world that are going to want to buy a football club. So that helps me see that I think like an NFL, if the NFL stumped up 600 million, which they have, the NFL have that much money. If they bought into, that would be a brilliant investment to them, wouldn't it? Because that would help them run NFL games, and they want to bring NFL over to Europe. That's why they're doing games at Bayern Munich. That's why they're looking to do games at the new Bernabeu when it's finished. And that's why they're doing games at Tottenham. They're trying to make the NFL a worldwide thing. So I think they're going to be the best bet. But also you've got families like the Kraft family that own the New England Patriots. There are loads of families in the NFL that have American football clubs or teams or franchises that have not got asset. The only real one that they've got a couple. You've got Bowley, of course. You've got the Kroenkes own the LA Rams. And then now you've got the 49ers that own most of Leeds. Well, they own all of Leeds, actually.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one, isn't it, David?
It is. And like you said, we are going to see that. I think we're going to see someone from America. It makes sense with the NFL, like you're saying. Yeah. It's a massive business. That isn't. Oh, the wages their players are on are ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is not a sale by any means of the stretch. This is just an investment. And someone like to come in, Levy wants that, because then, like you said, if he gets an investor from, if you get an investor in from America with the NFL who has ties to the NFL, say if they owned an NFL club or they were shareholders within that club, it's perfect for Levy, because he's not only getting their side to basically bridge even more of a gap for the NFL when we're not playing football and we've got breaks and everything, but the American fans, majority of them go or like die hard.
Yeah.
They're all ridiculous. You know what I mean?
The amount of
Like,
money they spend.
yeah, it's ridiculous. So if they can come over to the UK and watch their teams play, they would. They'd love it. And then you got this, like I said, this is why he's building the hotels around the stadium, things like that, because he knows that's what he's building towards.
Yeah.
I think if we got someone from the Asian side, it wouldn't be as
effective of a business plan.
No. That's why I think it's going to be an American investor, but they're not going to be like rich enough to buy the
company like a Samsung. Then Samsung aren't going to buy a football team.
No,
they're a television company. Although it would be interesting if Samsung bought a stake in Tottenham, because they would. Well, Tottenham in the South Korea market's a legendary thing now. And we're going to see in a few years what happens with the South Korean market, because Sonny is not getting any younger. He's 31 years of age, but that South Korean fan base needs to be nurtured instead of letting it all slip away when Sonny eventually retires. You've got to try and keep it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
this is a good idea as well. Liberty Media, not a good idea. This is a good shout in terms of Liberty Media are looking to buy. But Liberty Media have already ruined Formula One. They don't need to ruin Tottenham any more than it already does. It's interesting.
But didn't they meet up? Sorry to cut in, but didn't they meet up? Didn't Levys meet up with him?
Possibly, so, I'm not sure.
That's why we got the go-kart track underneath. He was talking to them.
Well, it's a sponsorship. It's a 15-year sponsorship deal.
Right. That was something like that. I remember seeing something like that. And it's a funny one because, yes, we're like extra revenue within the club. Yeah. The problem is Levy's the type to take that revenue and not use it correctly for the fans. He uses it for, like, he is a spreadsheet man himself. He loves that green. Hates being in the red, loves the green. Yeah. And it's such a big issue for us because we're not going to see these profits on the pitch. When you hear that, and I know some people like him, but when you hear the fact that like a Timo Werner is going to be signed in the summer, because he's cheap. I'm sorry. Yes, he got an assist on the weekend, and it was a decent assist, but that was all. He did nothing else that entire game, and he's like that all the time. He can't score. We won't see. If we sign Verma, that just shows you we're still in that position where Levy doesn't want to spend the money to fill the team with proper players. He's still going for the cheap ones. The quotes coming from Anne saying we're going after quantity, not quality.
Yeah,
that will always be the case for us. Then there's no point. We're not going to win anything with that. We really won't. You have to bring in quality players if you want to push forward and win trophies.
Yeah,
you can't do it like the old times where you get a lucky run. It's just not going to happen anymore. There's too many good teams out there, and it's frustrating to see. But what can we do? You can protest as much as you want, do all what you want. Leave your sit in his ivory tower laughing away.
Stephen is saying, I still get the feeling that someone will buy Lewis out. I don't think so. I think he will give a lot of it to his children. I think if anyone does buy Lewis out, it will be Levy himself. He will take control of ENIC as the company, and he will keep it in the family. I don't see him selling his family business.
No, but Joe can't do anything, can he?
No, but his children can.
His children can. Obviously, he's still. I mean, by the time some of that comes around, I'm not being funny. The man's on the edge at the moment, isn't he? You know, he's like what 90 odd now. I think Joe is. So I don't think he's even interested at all. I think he's on his yacht, chilling away, having, living out the rest of his life there. But I can't see anyone coming in buying it. They make too much money. Yeah, they make too much money, and for someone to come in, they're going to have to spend so much to buy the club.
Yeah,
that
they're going to be crippled for at least a couple of years until they've made that money back.
More than a couple of years. You're talking like at least 5 to 10 years to make that sort of money back to make profit on that buy.
It's beyond life-changing money. That's serious money.
Yeah, and anything can happen as well. You know, you look at other teams that have had buy-ins. You look at Newcastle at the moment. They had to buy in from Saudi.
Yeah.
Look at them. And I know the players, right? The injuries they've got is dreadful. I mean, have you seen anything like it?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But they're not exactly flying high, are they? They managed to get in the what was it? Did they got in the Champions League? and yet did nothing. They ended up at the bottom of the group, struggled like mad, and their season's been hindered badly. That's a poor investment. The Newcastle owners ain't making that money.
When it's young money, I'm going to call it young money. When it's coming into football, you can't just run immediately. You've got to build very slowly to get that. It was almost blind luck they got into the Champions League. They bought a load of quality players. They all fired like animals in terms of like they went mental in that season, and they got there, and it was too soon for them. Too many games, got too many injuries. But final thoughts, David. We've hit our buzzer.
I think final thoughts is I'll do as like a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
What's going on with Levy and that we can't control. We know we can't. He's been doing it year after year after year. If there's one thing I will say, just ignore it if you can. I know people don't want to hear that, but protests, you know what I mean? People have tried. It's failed. We want new owners, yes. We want Levy out because we want someone in. But as the saying goes, with like you look at Newcastle and other teams, the grass isn't always greener.
Yeah.
As a businessman, Levy is flawless. The man's doing. I mean, if we were the business fans, if we were fans of business, like you know what I mean, we'd have been loving it. But we're not. We're football fans, and all we got to hope is that the players in Ange and the summer we can see next season as competing for things, and that's what we can hope for. So, yeah, that's my final thoughts. Just
absolutely
see what happens. See what happens.
Thank you to everyone for watching this show. It's always a good one with Dave. We've had a decent discussion this morning, like we always do on Morning Brews. It's a bit more of a serious topic rather than our usual happy-go-lucky fun selves. But we will be back tomorrow for Cockerel Doodle Doo tomorrow at 9 a.m, the usual time. Probably joined by Ian Lubin because he always turns up on a Friday. But thank you also. Oh, and we got a special show tomorrow night. We are doing another Tottenham on tour where all of us are getting together. Daigle, if he can get on the show, if he's not too exhausted, will be on the show as well. And we will be doing a show called The Business End where we talk about the run into the end of the season. So tune in there. Have a brilliant rest of your day. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, if you smell what the Kauff is brewing, thank you so much for watching. Ciao for now.